Rod said it's a virtual Delta variant
Right.
going around. You can catch it through the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, got through the Wi-Fi. All right, we are recording now.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll edit all that out, but but okay. All right. Hey, it's Lexi from Copyright Magazine, and today we are with Ray Nitti and Rosalynn Wolfe from Riverworks. Thanks for joining us,
Hey,
Ray.
thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. So today we are going to be talking about the activities that are going on the Beerline Trail and the spaces that you're trying to activate. So, what is this big music event that I've been hearing so much about?
Yeah, thank you. So again, I'm Rosalynn from Riverworks. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Lexi and Copyright Magazine, for having us. Thank you, Ray Nitti, with his official name on his screen.
What it
I
say?
love dig it. It's
Right.
Rahenio
Oh,
Boy.
Rahanio Boynes.
Love
That what
it.
my mama named me.
Right. So we are having our third annual Music on the Beer Line, and so it's music series we put together. That the host is a series. Down the line, it'll be a series. But this is our third year. We bring together artists of various genres, really focusing on Harambe River West neighborhoods to bring them together and bridge that gap using the love of music.
That's really amazing. So, who is the lineup for this?
So we have first, Nitti has graciously hosted his third time. So Nitti will be our host again. Did our very first one. Of course, brings super lots of energy and fire and community for the third time. And then we have Elisa Dominguez, Anthony Deutsch, Miss Lotus Funk, Orlando Pena, and DJ Drip Sweat joining us on Friday, August 27th, starting at 5 o'clock.
All right, all right. So, Ray, why have you decided to continuously host this event? So, this is the third year. You're still coming back with the action, participating in something like this. So, what is your tie to doing?
Um, First of all, they have an amazing person like Rosalynn Wolfe working there with them, and I know her commitment to creatives and artists and entrepreneurs, and wanting to open up platforms that artists and entrepreneurs and creatives could get compensated for their work. So when she initially the first year talked to me about it, like I could get down with that, and she was like, "Nah, Nitty, like." We ain't trying to give no stipends. We trying to give people as much as they value as we can. And one thing I appreciated with Riverworks is the transparency. I feel like as a creative, a lot of times you don't get the honesty until the day of. Then you realize, like, oh yeah, you really ain't gonna have all these things that we said, and we just needed you to say yes to it. So for me, it was the care and the concern that Riverworks had for building something sustainable for the creative community, and for me to be able to be a part of helping build that and create that, which it fits right along with my own personal vision and my own personal goals and missions. So it was anything for me to help be a part of that and bring other artists, other creatives to a platform like this, and looking at areas like Harambe and and is it Harambe and which area is it again, Ryan?
River West.
Harambe and River West area. I always want to say River Works all the time.
I know
Harambe and
everybody does.
River West area, which is, I don't know if people know, but Alderwoman Coggs has expanded the Bronzeville borders to Harambe and River West. So, which means this is part of the arts and cultural district of Milwaukee. So, for me, like anything that's a part of helping create space for our creative pool and changing the narrative of retaining our homegrown talent, I'd love to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And so, I've noticed that activating the Beer Line Trail is not just music, but visual art and community cultivation as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking that question. So the Beer Line Trail, the part that Riverworks is kind of stewards of, is from Bremen and Burleigh to the Capitol Bridge. That will be expanding. There's a grant from the city has in for us, a CMAC grant. It's called to expand from the Capitol to 20th and Cornell. And then I know you all see all the construction happening on Hampton. They're bringing the highway down, and so they're going to put a culvert or tunnel so the trail can continue on, past this area into the next to connect the folks. So that's one major thing that's happening. The other major, the linear park being brought to the area between Peace of Victors and Capitol. And so that park is a plan for life-based plan design done by Walter Hood out of Hood Design Studios in Oakland, California. It includes barbecue areas, just plain grass areas, trees, large gateways, a performance stage, 7,000 square foot performance stage, connected building that will house a cafe, a community space, a bike shed, and greenhouses, etc. So we want to make sure that the people know about this space, but also take ownership of it, both residents and creatives, so that we have this space that brings people all together for whatever kind of building a community that people see fit. And so we having these activities to show people, get them engaged, and get them aware of what's taking place. So we have programming that takes place in that area, as well as down to the stage. And then the River West part has always been really active with the ice rink in the winter times and the bike rides that take place in that area, and now extending up into Harambe.
Sounds really amazing. So I have a question about activating the space in a way where it creates electricity. So obviously, you have been a part of the community in Milwaukee for a long period of time. And
I
spaces
can't hear
like
you.
this are, starting to pop up in our city. Do you feel like you would have wanted more of these spaces when you were growing up and, starting out fresh?
Yeah, so I do. I feel like we had Northridge Mall, we had Capitol Court. Like those are the places that we hung, caught the bus to, and made way for. Those places are gone now, right? And so we also have like this health revolution that's been happening for years and that's still taking hold. And so now creating spaces that are outside that allow you to both hang out and be healthy. I think it's just the community having this evolution of us as human beings, right, and what we're asking for, and also having this kind of investment taking place in Harambe. To me, is a culmination of all this work around Black Lives Matter and other. I mean, from the '60s, right? That's not just now, but just as we have moved forward and begun to demand more, starting to get these major investments. This is around the country, right? And using these rail lines that brought economic development to communities that are now gone. And so as an industry, now we have new industry popping up and replacing those things and utilizing those spaces that they now bring economic development back to the spaces that have been not haven't been invested in, for a number of years now.
Absolutely. For the last few years, how do you think the audience has received, these music events and, the cultivating of this area?
So I'll let Ray answer the question too, but I think from my perspective, people have taken notice. It's honestly not where I want it because I want it to be like music on the Beerline is coming, like a summer fest. Like this is music on the Beerline is coming. Nitti is hosting. You got to get out there. So I think it's fun for folks that do attend and have joined. You have rave reviews. People love it. It's very community oriented. We had sip and paint the first time, and face painting. We'll have face painting again. We have vendors. We have food trucks. So we have these different activities that I think over time, as it picks up momentum, will be amazing. The plaza area is also being renovated over the next year, and so next year's music on the beer line will be in this amazingly creative space. So I think as it goes, it's good now, but it's just going to get better as we move forward.
Yeah.
Only thing I'd add on, I think Roz hit it on the head. I would say like people have been receiving it extremely well because of how intentional we have been with the inclusion of different cultures. I remember the first year we did it. Um, like if you're familiar with where Riverworks is, it's like such a interesting pocket because you have so many different races and nationalities that are in there. You have Hispanic, you have Asian, you have Black, you have white, you have Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So kind of the same. But Mexican and Puerto Ricans, they don't call them each other. You know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying? It's very different. But you have Caribbean folks of different cultures over there. So I think people love feeling like they're properly represented.
Hmm.
And a silver lining for me was, and I had to call Roz and check it out because, the DJs was out there playing music. And, at this one particular time, we were playing a lot of Hispanic music at that time. It was like Suavemente or something. It was like, un, dos, tres, un pasito bailante, Maria, whatever that was, right?
Okay,
But
D.
then you saw, yeah, you feel me? I'm cultured now. You feel me? But no, like it was amazing to see like the Puerto Rican
Hmm.
family come outside of their house and ask questions like, "Hey, what y'all know about this? Like,
Yeah.
what y'all are doing here?" And to see him have his Puerto Rican shirt on and like just being prideful and going around to the Jamaican food truck and trying those different cultures. So I think that's the beauty in what is being created in on the Beerline Trail, which is the arts and culture district of Milwaukee. So I think that's very important, and we should continue to cultivate it and nurture it and support Riverworks in it because and one thing I say with Rouse too is I think we was on the way to be in that Summerfest thing, and the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So it was like we had to readjust our momentum. It was continuously growing. But
Hmm.
the pandemic happened, and now it's just sometimes you just gotta readjust.
Yeah.
So I would say that's my only add on to how it's been received.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
definitely. I think what you guys are expressing is really important about bridging not only neighborhoods together, but also cultures
Hmm.
together and people together, who live, work, and play in these spaces. And I think that's really important. And then the idea of it being something that long for, like a summer fest, I don't see where that couldn't happen, especially when you're talking about putting economics back into these neighborhoods,
Hmm.
how the infrastructure spurs back. I think when people see reflections of real change and change includes community, I think they're more receptive.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's very pushing forward with that. So, what other things can we look forward to on the Beer Line Trail?
Yeah, so I mean, the linear park is coming. Like I said, the Beerline Plaza is being built out. Um, but before the pandemic hit, we had a whole fashion show that was going to be amazing planned with Copyright Magazine. Yeah, so I hope to bring that back. To have copyright and other people who do fashion, music, health, to come to find a place, a space on the trail. Dr. Levy of True Love Baptist Church is on Second and Keith. She does a health series. She's a nurse at MCW, so she has a whole health series that she did. It was virtual last year. Wasn't able to do it this year, but we talk about yoga, fit for you, and having the lavender lemonade, and then
Hmm.
training and things out there. And so as we move forward past the pandemic, God willing, we'll start to see a lot more of that programming coming. And then the connector building, which will be a connector building that sits on the corner of Keith and Richards, will be developed. In the front, they'll have Koumba Juice and Coffee run by the same people that created the Center for Health and Wellness. And then in the back is community space, and then there'll be a courtyard where people can, come, eat, hang out, have Wi-Fi, and then it'll be the idea is for it to be a hub for people utilizing the trail. And then as the trail is extended up to the 30th Street corridor, to the
Hey.
Oak Leaf Trail, you'll have a whole transportation route being created, which in and of itself brings investment to the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so before the summer ends, you guys also have some plans, right? Community shuffle on the beer line too.
Yes, so the next day, it's like a Beerline weekend, on the 28th from 9 to 11, we have a community walk called the Beerline Shuffle. The Beerline Shuffle is going to be actually really cool because you'll start here at the plaza, like Townsend and Holton, you'll walk up to Capitol. There'll be a performer, Roxy Bean on Capitol playing guitar. You'll have some artists you can do there. You'll come back down past the station for water balloons. To use water balloons. You check out all the artwork. Vidal Hill did murals on Vienna Accessway area. You'll pass that. You'll come down. I'm sorry. First, you'll start off with the drumline Nephi Neff that'll be leading us down to Capitol and then back. And as you go towards River West area, you'll have a tattoo station. You'll have ice cream down there. Then you'll have another band on a funk wagon down by Snell's Crossing playing. And so you'll have all of these pieces involved in this community walk. It's not just a walk. It's like an activity walk or something. But it's all around health and community and art and bridging all those together to make community.
Wow, that sounds like a whole vibe. It sounds pretty amazing, especially, some of us don't like to walk too much, but that'll have something at the end of the destination for you.
Exactly. And MKE Black has their food truck event from 11 to 3 on the same day. So after you finish your walk and all the art and music, you come back and you legalize all the Black-owned food trucks.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, it sounds like it's something that our audience and our community needs to get out to. So remind them one more time when this music event is, so to make sure that they show up and show out for you guys.
All right. Music on the Beerline happens Friday, August 27th from 5 to 8, hosted by our very own Ray Nitti, Mr. Regino Boynes, official out here, developer Regino Boynes. The next day, come out with us 9 to 11, August 28th for the Beerline Shuffle.
Yes, thank you so much. And how can we keep track of what Riverworks is doing? Is there somewhere we can follow you, website we can tap into?
Yes, so you can check us out at riverworksmke.org. You can also call the office, 414-906-9650.
Shout out to the sponsors, too. Shout out to the sponsors, 88.9, Wells Fargo, and Katera for really helping be a part of putting this together and making this happen. Shouts out to the vendors, Chase My Creations, Bathe Naturally, Rubbish Remade, Tres Ojos, A Joyful Peace. And shouts out to the food trucks, because we got to eat. Shouts out to Rain Truth and the Cultured Vegan. They'll be there. You'll have Jamaican Me Hungry. So if you want some curry chicken and plantain and rice, come get some. You don't know. And then we will have fully loaded fries. So it's going to be a good time, full of culture. So as Rosalynn said, come out, have a good time, come experience something. We've been locked up for a year. We outside. What are we talking about?
Outside. I just want to thank you guys again so much. I'll probably show up, pull up, bring the fam out. You just enjoy a good time. Again, it's Ray Nitti, Rosalynn Wolfe. Y'all on the Beerline channel.
Hey.